We are live, Mr. Mark. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Doing great, Tom. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. Tonight, elevate your profit. So we'll be right back. We are back. Hello, Mark.
Hey, sir. How you doing?
Doing fantastic. Getting better every day. So
Oh yeah, you sound it. You looking it.
good.
How's,
Well,
how's the
thanks.
gout treating you? No more?
It's
Done?
history. Let's hope it's history for a long time. So, needless to say, it wasn't a pleasant experience. So.
I hear you. I hear you.
Well, tonight, Mark, what we want to do is we just want to talk a little bit about what EYP is. So I'm going to turn it over to you and have you share with what we're doing here.
I always love talking about EYP. Elevate your profits. It's not just dollars and cents, as I've said in the past, although it is designed for people that are starting their own business, whether they're entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, influencers. We love to hear about it. Most important of all, people that are out there that have a cause, a passion, and we bring them on board. We've had all sorts of people from different walks of life. Authors, obviously, we've had that. We've had people in this industry, healthcare, network marketing, next level marketing. People go back and forth on that term. We've even had, I'll mention his name, Mr. Ben Gay. He's the last disciple thereof, Dr. Napoleon Hill. So we've even had people from Asea on here. So it's kind of cool what we do, and can't say enough about it. And I learned something new. All sorts of industries. We've had accountants, people that are in finance, and Tom, you're a master at that, as well as you're a coach. So with that, I'm going to shut up and let you talk a little bit.
Well, tonight, we don't have a guest tonight. We do have a guest for next week. Mark, do you have Christina's book there?
Yes, I do. And by the way, this is a great book right here. I'll hold it up.
Yeah, next week, we're going to be interviewing Christina Williams. She's wrote this book, 10 Things She Wished She Knew About Network Marketing before she began. It's really a great book. Tonight, we're going to be doing a replay from the Asea 5. This is a platform every Friday night Asea puts on, interviewing doctors and different people in the company about why they made the journey from their traditional business or careers to Asea. And last week we had my wife on, Kathy, and we talked about multiple streams of income, how important it is. It is even more important today under all the circumstances we got going on with our economy, uncertainty, those type of things. We never know what could strike us down, either with our health or anything in our businesses. So what's our plan B? How do we mitigate those challenges that are out there? And they are out there. So tonight we're going to do a replay from Friday night. Dr. Lee Osler and Dr. Maureen Hayes are interviewing Leland, duyck. Amazing story. A number of things.
Really, you did that well, man. You're getting better with the names,
Well, a little practice during the day. So there we go. But anyway, I encourage anybody that's out there tonight, tag and share this information. You never know who it's going to influence or make a difference. It could be you, but take some notes. There's some very significant key points that we've been talking about a lot. So it's coming from somebody that experienced something that significantly changed his life. And at first was his health and how that affected him and his other businesses, and how this Asea opportunity has changed everything in his life, health-wise as well as income-wise. So it's a powerful message. And so we're going to be playing that replay here. So turn on your notifications, take notes, then we'll be back and wrapping it up. Okay. You ready, Mark?
Oh, tremendous. Can't wait to watch this.
Hey everybody, it's Friday night. That means another episode of the Asea 5. It's me, Dr. Maureen Hayes from Galveston, Texas, and I'm here with Dr. Lee Osler from Washington State, our esteemed dentist and author of 2 books, Redox Matters and Healthy Matters, and soon to be released, Why It Matters. So stay tuned for that. Yay! Can't wait for that. And also a very special guest today, a very close friend of ours, somebody that we love to hear, and his story is just so powerful on so many different levels that we just love having him here. Dr. Leland Duyck. He's an orthopedic physician's assistant. He's a business owner, had a manufacturing plant, also a rancher, a cowboy. And this came into his life when he was really challenged physically. Something that, you know, as a business owner, he had taken a look at this, really kind of discounted it like so many of us do. But when it became a personal thing, he was willing to give it a try. So Leland Duyck from Frisco, Texas, if you don't mind coming on and kind of giving us a little bit more of your background and kind of what got your attention with Asea. And before we do that, Lee, if you don't mind giving our disclaimer and kind of a short, brief introduction into what redox signaling molecules are.
I'd be happy to. Again, welcome everybody. Tonight in our Discover Asea 5 segment, we're going to be talking about a supplement. And so supplement rules apply here. We don't make any claims. We don't talk about diseases. We're not talking about cures. And so we want to be really plain and clear about that. This is not a treatment or a cure for anything. Redox signaling molecules are native to the body. We'll talk about that as we get into this, I'm sure. But they're in every cell of our body, and they basically manage the regulatory circuits of the body that turns on our, what we call the adaptive response to stress, that helps to balance our body and to keep our cells happy and healthy and to reduce their oxidation and inflammation. With that, I'll turn it back over to Leland. Again, welcome.
Thank you for that introduction, both of you. And you know, it's always a privilege, a real honor to be able to share this company and share these products and talk about where I was when I was first approached with this and where I am today, because it's something that happened to me that I never dreamed could come true, and it can happen for all of you if it's something you're looking for. But for me, I was running 3 companies. I have an orthopedic company where we manufacture orthopedic sports braces, and we have supplied all across the country, even internationally, with, you know, doctors' offices and high schools and colleges and pro teams, going to the games, working with the athletes. So I was in the surgery part of it for 13 years, doing the surgery, assisting with about 70 doctors here in Dallas. I was a surgical PA. And so this has been kind of my whole background is helping people, but I really got interested in the business side of medicine and pursued that, and it's been very successful for me. And I was approached with this business, I guess, a little over 6 years ago. And at that time, I also have a full-time working ranch that I've had now be 30 years this coming February. And I run registered cattle, Angus cattle, and it's kind of a cow-calf operation. Currently right now I'm running about 150 head total between mamas and babies. And so it's a full-time job, keeping 450 acres up and cleaning it. And it's my love. It's what I like doing. It keeps me young. And so that's what I was doing pretty much. I had another company too, another manufacturing company making particular oils in the marketplace that were healthy for you. But I was approached by this by a guy named Terry Latham, and he knew my son, and he approached me with this. And I was friendly, but I wasn't excited about it. I was running 3 companies. I didn't have time to do anything else. I didn't have enough time as it was. I did well financially, so I wasn't looking for another stream of income. And I said no to it, not just a few times, but multiple times over 2 years. And I was at my ranch working my cattle, and after working them one night, I drove back to Dallas from Oklahoma. I went to bed. When I got up the next morning, I couldn't physically roll over in bed. My hands had all turned in like this to my palms, my fingers. I had discomfort in every joint. I didn't know what had happened. I just knew it wasn't good. And my wife helped me to my feet and to the hospital. And, weeks later, I was diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder that really brought me to my knees. I went through everything with my friends in medicine. Doctors encouraged me to do different things. I think I went through everything in Western medicine that they could throw at me over a 14-month period, and really wasn't seeing any results. And I was very discouraged. And being, I was an athlete through high school and college, and played a little bit of basketball overseas. And I was always in shape and run my businesses. I was healthy and upbeat, and I found myself in a very unusual position of depression. I was afraid I was going to lose everything that I had worked for. I could not work. I was having to hire everything done with my companies. I had 150 employees combined with the orthopedic company the first time. Second time, we had about 75. Technology allowed us to do it with less. And I'm doing one now. I'm on my third one, and we're 8-9 years into it. So, it's been something I've done for a while, and I just thought, it's over for me.
Wow.
I was introduced to this when I was 63-4 years old, something like that. I'll be 70 next Saturday.
The first
So,
Wow. You look
yeah,
great.
so,
I'm going to ask a couple of questions, Leland. You,
Yeah.
as a medical professional, when this was first brought to your attention, I know you were really busy, you had a lot on your plate, and you weren't really suffering. You were physically in great shape and very, very active. But did you take the time to look at the technology at all? Did you look at it and discount it because it was salt water from Salt Lake City, or you were just so busy that you didn't take a look at it at all?
I didn't study in my medical school. I didn't salt water from Salt Lake City. That's my thoughts I had. I wasn't going to fall for that. I thought it was somebody just trying to sell me something. I think I remember calling it snake oil and having a good laugh, but it's just because I hadn't heard of it. And sometimes we don't. When I was in the surgical part, I kept up with the new trends, what's going on. But when I got out of the surgery part and got into the business side, I wasn't following it as closely. I had not heard anything about this. But Terry told me to go to pubmed.gov, and I did. And at that time, Maureen, there were 14,600 articles on redox signaling. And I stayed up most of the night reading those and looking at stuff that pertained to issues that I was having. And it blew me away because I didn't study it. I didn't even know what redox was. So, I thought, wow,
Similar.
it gave me hope. It gave me
So
hope.
you did your deep dive when it became important, right?
Yes. Yeah.
When you had an issue. And I think that's a really good thing to bring up because I had a very similar experience. Somebody brought it to my attention. I thought it sounded stupid. I deleted the emails they sent. I didn't even take a good look. As soon as I saw salt water, I was like, please, what now? And so I was very close-minded, which is surprising to me because I actually practice integrative medicine. So I consider myself to be open. But the first time around, didn't really take a look. It wasn't until my husband got ill that I was a little bit more open-minded and looking for answers that traditional medicine wasn't providing. So you had this extreme situation, and it went on for a while. I mean, it wasn't, you were disabled. And again, I want you to speak to that because most people think that they've got everything planned out in life, and life can change in an instant. You just don't know. And Lee, you could speak to that too, especially with what we've gone through, even though it wasn't a health challenge, but a business challenge over the past few years. What happened with that? People need to be prepared. So
Yeah. Well, just imagine you're being an athlete. Imagine being a cowboy, working cattle and throwing down. I've always been physical. I've always been healthy. And overnight, it went to where I couldn't dress myself. I couldn't take the cap off a bottle of water. I couldn't go to the restroom without help. You want to talk about humble pie. It was a very humbling 14 months in my life, and I don't know what I'd done if it hadn't been for my wife here with me. But over a 14-month period of trying every type of treatment known to man, nothing was working. I'd become very depressed, and I was thinking some bad thoughts, Maureen. I didn't want to live that way. So I'll just put it that way. And that's not me. I'm very high energy, positive, but I was thinking some bad thoughts. And so don't think you can't go there. I saw patients like that, and I thought, how could they ever get there? Well, now I understand. And so, you know, after I looked at the science, I came back, and I tell you what it did, Maureen, it gave me hope. It gave me hope that maybe I had found something that could help me, because everything I was looking at was not working, and I was seeing the side effects of the medications, and I was not liking it at all. And so I decided to go out and check the company out, and I went out to the plant. I went out to the manufacturing company and the corporate office. I toured it. I met with some of the executive team, and other than just saying I was blown away, that's all I can say. I don't wow very easy because I'm around big athletes and big business and things like that, but this company impressed me. They impressed me with what they were doing. They impressed me with their science, what they had brought to market. And all I could think about was, wow, wonder if this works for me. How many people do I know that this works? They need this. How many athletes do I work with? How many doctors do I know? How many people that I went to church with or sit on the boards with? How many people do I know that this could help? So it gave me a lot of hope. And I went out there basically, being negative, more cynical than skeptical, just to disprove it. And I couldn't see any red flags. And I left there that day excited to come home and start the product. And I did. In the first week, probably about 80% of my discomfort had left my body after 14 months. In the second week, I was joking a little bit and cutting up. My wife said that, my depression had lifted. I guess when you're hurting and sick, you're not the best to be around. But in the third week, my hands began to open and close for the first time in 14 months regularly. And it just kept getting better. After 90 days on the product, I was able to come off 3 medications that I'd been on for 8 to 10 years for high blood and sugar levels and high uric acid levels. And, with permission from my doctor, and we just started weaning off until he said, you're in normal range and you're able to come off those. I was never so excited in my life to be able to do that. And I also snored at night. So I had a little machine that helped me with my snoring, and that went away at 9 months. So to be able to get off the medications over a period of years, I've lost 50 pounds. I look younger in my skin today than I did back then when I first introduced to this product. It wasn't just a breakthrough in science for me. It was a game changer, and allowed me to continue my businesses. As I got started with this, I had really no desire to do it as a business. I had 3 companies. I wasn't looking for anything else. But when I saw what it did for me, I just couldn't sit still and not share this with people that I cared for. And so I made a list of 50 people, and I told my wife, what are you doing? I said, I'm making a list. I'm going to contact all these people, and I'm going to go meet with them this month. And she looked at me like I had lost it. And I said, I just have to know, did this work just for me, or is it going to help others? So I agreed to go to 30 people in the first 30 days, and that's what I did. I know it's rare, but my first 30 said yes to the product. They had seen me unhealthy, and they saw me better. And with my background and credibility, they said, why wouldn't I, with a money-back guarantee, and it can't hurt you? And that's really how my journey started with this company. And then I started getting checks, and I grew very quickly in this company, and wasn't long where I was making more doing this than I was with my other jobs. And I'd never made it so quick. And I was doing it from home. I didn't have any employees. I didn't have any brick and mortar headaches like overhead, rent. I didn't have to stock inventory like at my orthopedic company. We had a couple $1 million inventory. I mean, we had a lot of stuff because we have raw goods we have to sew and manufacture. So we had a huge plant, and I know the cost of doing brick and mortar business. I didn't have any of that here. It was amazing. I didn't have to ship the product. I didn't have to build the product. I'm not family. I would share with them if they're interested. I just got them their own account directly with the company, and they purchased at the same price I did. And I felt good about that. And I actually loved the business plan because it allowed me to continue running other businesses, because I just had to be the messenger here and share it. I didn't have to do all the work that I did with all my other businesses. To me, that's one of the biggest things about this, is having a second stream of income has allowed me to do it do what I was doing because they do a lot of this for you. It was impressive.
Leland, could you elaborate on that last point right there, especially in context of the economy that we're in? You know, you talk about your brick and mortar, and you had a personal economy. You knew what the overhead and, you know, the demand on you personally and on your business was. Had you had a personal hiccup through any of that where you were separated from your business, you'd have lost your businesses.
Yeah.
So could you just address that from maybe a top-down thing, a general?
Well, I've run brick and mortar my whole life, so I know what it costs. You spend a lot of money up front, which most people don't have to get business started. You know, I had partners and we had investors, and we, you know, the three of us, and then we grew, and we were growing so fast we had to continue to put money. Everything we made, we put back into our companies. So it wasn't like making it here and you get it all and you get to keep it all. Which is great. Back then, we put everything back into the company, continue to buy more machines, continue to hire more employees, continue to get bigger space. You don't make your money till the back end when you sell. You're building the whole time. But what I found with this in the last couple of years, it was such an eye opener for me. Even though I talked about it early on, until I experienced it in the last 2 years, I can't tell you what this is like. I think we all go through times in our life, Lee, that it's not always hunky dory. We all struggle from time to time. Sometimes we're on top of the world, and sometimes you're on the bottom, and somewhere in between. And especially in the pandemic we've been in, the crisis our world's been in the last few years, I was really wanting to do Asea more full time. But because of those other two companies, I was pulled back into them quite a bit because we had manufacturing, finding raw good materials. A lot of it was sitting on boats. We couldn't get it in. We had to find other suppliers, put more money into inventory, couldn't get stuff on a timely manner. When you did, there was this huge, additional cost added to what you're doing. And then it gets to the point where you're not making as much money because you're paying all these extra fees, and you really hate to pass them on. Just like with what our company here at Asea did, having a surcharge versus price increase, and it may be able to switch back, but it's not. It's almost every business. Everybody's been affected by this, and especially if you own a company. Even if you work for companies, you're affected if they're laying people off, or they're not doing as well financially, so they're asking people to take a cut to keep your job. People having to work from home, and sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not. But we've just seen, we're in a gig economy, and it's different, and the world is changing, and the way business is done is changing every day. We see giant companies folding and going under. Can you imagine what it's doing to the little ones?
Yeah.
The only thing about the little ones that you have the advantage is you can move quicker to make decisions, like our company did, to make decisions, to make quicker changes. And you got the giant companies, they have too many people involved, and it takes months, sometimes years to make those kind of changes, and it affects them. But this has been great the last 2 years because both of my parents passed away. I was struggling, trying to work these other businesses, working the ranch, the ice storms, taking care of my cattle. I had so many distractions in the last 2 years, and I looked up, and you know what? I never missed a check from Asea. They came in every week, even though I wasn't spending as much time there as I needed to. I tried to do as much as I could, but any other business, I would have been making less or going backwards. And this, it was just amazing. The checks kept coming. So that was a big win for me in the last 2 years, realizing what residual income is, something you've built and you're getting paid on it. And it's not a race, guys. It's a journey. And every business, if you go, Mach 5 hair on fire, you're going to burn out. It's about consistency. And we all have problems in our businesses, ups and downs every day. Just somebody quits in your business or they stop their subscription. Well, we have problems in our orthopedic companies. I had business problems in my cattle company. I lost a cow and calf this week, and I lost another baby to coyotes. So it's always problems in businesses. You deal with it and you move on, and you focus on the business and treat it like a business, not like a hobby. And this has been great. And it really taught me what I had my hands on here with this company and where my future is with this company.
Well, it means so much hearing this from you, Leland, with your background. And you're kind of the perfect spokesperson for this because you do have the medical background, you do have the business background. And a lot of us who have spent our lives, even me as an anesthesiologist, I was hospital-based. I was a very well-paid employee. I didn't have to, I didn't go out and start my own business. And in fact, I had, when they came in the second time, I actually was back in training for age management medicine, which is concierge medicine, which is sort of a huge thing right now, which is kind of a form of residual medicine, residual income through medicine.
Mhm.
I don't know if dentists have anything like that, Lee, but this is where people kind of pay you on a monthly basis to be their doctor, and then you're there, not at their beck and call, but they have more access than they would for a regular doctor. But when this came into our lives and what I saw with my husband initially, I felt like you, that I had a moral obligation to tell people about this, because it wasn't something I was familiar with. It's 100% non-toxic. And just as you and I know, and you as well, Lee, with all the prescriptions we've written, every one of them comes with warnings, side effects, some with black boxes. This has no side effects, just side benefits. And so it's such a gift we're giving to people. But I don't think people value or know the value of having a business that is turnkey like this, where we literally don't have to do anything except for meet up with the people who are looking for what we have. And that is huge. If you don't mind my taking you back, can you talk a little bit, and Liam, get you in here too. Can you talk a little bit about what you experienced as far as getting your function back? How long did that take? How much of the product were you using? What really made the difference for you?
Well, I started off with the minimal amount of 4 for a couple of days because I knew I had to go through a detox. I've been on different medications, and then I bumped it up to 6 and then to 8 within the first, I think, 4 days. And then within another week, I was at 4 ounces. And they're taking 16 or 18, but they're most I'm taking 14 ounces a day. And I've been doing that for 6 years, and I don't plan on stopping. The way I feel and the way I'm able to do things at my age most up with me, and it wasn't like this before. I know what is making the difference. The longer I feel, and I feel blessed that hurt you can only help you. You're only replenishing into your body what used to be there when you were younger. And it's that simple. It's simple. Our Olympic athletes would, if there was for professional sports and the Olympic athletes, to take this product, and when they get tested for their anti-doping, it doesn't even show up because it's native. So there's nothing, I don't know of anything better that you could put into your body as a preventative to want to live a healthy life. And so, I took the amount that I was told. I used also the Renew 28 topical gel because of the discomfort I had in my joints, and that helped a lot, but also noticed my skin smoother. And, I was bruising real easy when I would hit my arms on things at the farm or ranch, or if I cut myself on barbed wire or do anything on the ranch, it was taking longer to heal. And when I got on this product, they started healing up like I was much younger. And I thought, wow. So I could physically see the response to the gel. And then I realized and heard other people say, if it's doing this, and it really got me with my body and taking care of my body, because I've learned that your health is your biggest asset. I don't care what you own or what you have, belongings, none of that matters. When I was sick, I would have given it all up. I just wanted my health back. And sometimes we take that for granted, Maureen. And, it's pretty simple with the science that we have today. This company's been out 14 years, and I've learned a lot about it. Dr. Osler, thank you for your 2 books, Redox Matters and Healthy Matters. It talks about redox being more of a lifestyle. It's not just something we do once a day. We need to think about it, healthy. Yeah, great books. It really breaks it down. I made a note on that. The Redox Matters really connects the dots between redox biology and our health. And the Redox Matters book is more applying the redox lifestyle, using it on a daily basis, routinely. And then your last book that's coming out, we talked about it, how to become more of a recession-proof during a gig economy. These are things people look for. I think you were telling me 40%, pardon me, even physicians and people in all types of business have a side gig. They get a second business. They have something going on because of the economy right now. You put it all in one basket and you can end up tomorrow and be hurting really bad. And so I've been like that most of my life. I've had 2, 3 things going on all the time. And when one or two might be down, the other one was thriving, or vice versa. But it allows you to get through. And for me, it's more like an insurance policy, knowing that you've got that extra income. And I know Alan Noble talks today about being a thousandaire. If we can help people, a lot of people said $1,000 would change their life, would change their monthly living. Help pay for groceries, extra gas. It would keep their head above water. You know, we're doing this program. We're working with a group of global leaders saying we've got this. And if you want to make an extra income, we can show you how. Even though you own your own business, we work as a team together to make it happen. Send a video to somebody, push and play, follow up with them. If they're interested, great. They get their own account and they purchase the product. And if they don't, you move on. Don't get attached to the outcome. I can't get attached to if I lose a cow or a calf at the ranch. I know it's a numbers game, and that's going to happen in ranching, just like you're going to lose some customers. It's the same in almost every business, but this offers more. And it allows you a lot that most people can't afford to start their own business. This allows you to start just with the cost of your products, and you can build very quickly and build a huge income, build a great life, fulfill your dreams, your goals. And again, it's not a race, it's a journey. Where are you going to be 2 years from now if you don't change where you are today? Where are you going to be? Make a change. We've got a great vehicle here. If you just want better health, we got it. That's probably 80% of the people. And if you want better income, better future for your family, about 20% pursue it on the business side. And a lot of my people start off as a customer and then they go to the business side because they believe in the product once they get on it. So again, it's a journey, and you just stay consistent with it and do the little daily things that you do in any other business to stay consistent with it. And for me, for both of y'all, I just want to tell you, this has been more gratifying than doing the surgery or putting an athlete back on the field for a game or a season. This was truly changing the dynamics of their life and maybe their family or a loved one, and knowing that it can't hurt them. I don't have to worry about the medications that we were given, knowing that they had side effects, but that's what we were trained to do. And so I love knowing that I can recommend something that has 0 side effects, and I have a possibility of helping them live a better lifestyle. And there's not a better gift than the gift of health.
So well said, Leland, and I love it. And Lee, I want you to speak to the financial part of this. But, you know, you bring up something, Leland, that is so powerful. I know when I stopped practicing medicine, they stopped paying me. It was so rude after all those years. But, you know, here, just like you were saying, you stop, or something gets in the way, or you have to put your attention someplace else, and those checks keep coming. And that's amazing. And you know what, Lee, you just wrote that book, Why It Matters. People tend to think of this because it's so easy to get in and it costs so little really to get started. They don't take it seriously. Mm-hmm. But we've all been blessed here. And every dollar that we make is, you know, determined by how many people we've helped. And, you know, we have 6 and 7, and in the company, 8-figure income earners, you know, and we've been blessed. You've been blessed to be a part of that. And you're a successful businessman. You know what to look for. And I love the fact that you've been able to do well successfully here too, because your efforts are magnified through the people that you bring on board, and then they turn around and they share with somebody else, and we can all share in this success of this company. So Lee, if you don't mind coming on and talking a little bit about that financial part and why it's important to you and why you wrote the book and what we can look forward to in that book.
Well, this is a great topic, and I listened to Leland as he was describing his 3 other businesses, and you made the comment how you had invested millions, and you had other people who had invested in you. You were probably operating with some banking, you know, you had some loans, right?
Yes.
So when you're in that situation where you have obligated yourself, I'm not going to call those golden handcuffs, but you're obligated. You don't do that and start a business and put that much out there and then walk away, right?
Right.
And so we're sitting here, it costs $40 to become an associate of a company that has a $51 million infrastructure. They've already built this out. They have the manufacturing and the warehousing and all of the business systems that I would have to, in some measure, in a scalable way, have to duplicate if I were to tomorrow wake up and say, well, I need another job. I need another business income of some kind. You're going to say, well, what would that be? You know, I mean, I've got a hobby that I'm really good at. I could monetize that. I could go into business. If I did that, I might be basically just trading my time for more dollars on the weekend. But you don't walk away from having a bank note, you know, a business loan, or, you know, millions of dollars of infrastructure that you've established. So the point that this is easy to start a side business with is also one of its biggest downsides. If we said, no, we're going to charge you $50,000 to get started, and you agreed to that, and you did that, you wouldn't walk away from this because you're $50,000 at risk. And I'm just making that number up. But my point is, it's easy come, easy go. And so there has to be different reasons that are operating in your mind and in your heart for why a person would do this. And I think if we start with the idea that the economy, the headlines, you know, the kitchen table finance kind of thing, you know, which we all have to deal with, is a driving factor, and that's what defines this as a quote-unquote gig economy. Side hustles are now mainstream. And I've tested this a few times over the last month or two, talking with people as I've been developing this. And I've approached my approach to people more from the business side and just said, you know, this is a side hustle. And often they would look at me and say, yeah, everybody's doing a side hustle today. It was kind of startling because I was waiting in kind of a defensive posture to try to defend why a dentist would want to do something like this, right? And then I read the research that 40% of physicians are doing something on the side, at least half of those to make ends meet. And it's like, how does that work in today's society? But everybody's going to get, you know, everybody's being hammered by the economy, and so we start with that. And I think the first step is to say we need additional income streams. As our good friend Jim Glenn, who we excused today, but he and his wife are at a family event. But you know, he has gone to great lengths to inform me, anyway, I think he's done this with others, that people that have a lot of assets in play, people that have investment portfolios, people that have businesses, and they've got those handcuffs on that they can't walk away from. When they get in trouble, when they have a heart attack, or when they have a stroke, or they're disabled, or they're in an injury, or a member of their family, is something happens that interrupts their income or their attention, they wound up in Jim's office as a financial advisor, and he started taking apart their investment structure so that they could keep the lights on at home. And it's like, what a marvelous opportunity we have here to develop a side income, starting that way at least, to ensure or assure that we don't have to take our lives apart if something bad were to happen. We don't wake up every day thinking, well, this weekend is going to be the week I'll have a disabling health issue, because we don't bet that way in our life. We bet that we're going to be healthy tomorrow, you know. But it happens often in life, and so I think there's both some short-term issues and there's some long-term issues with regards to financial stability, with regards to being able to pay the bills, you know, today or in the near term, that having an additional income stream can give us. And what everybody needs to settle with is the idea of, well, I need additional income. What kind do I want? I can trade my time for dollars. I can leverage it in some fashion. I can make it residual. I love your story, Leland. Maybe you can speak to this again about, you had this event occur with your help and you still saw the checks come in. You know, maybe that's something you could go back and touch on. And then maybe at the same time, I don't want to jump topics here or threads, but go back also, if you could address, well, what is it that you tell people? You know, how do you approach an individual with your best shot, if you will?
How'd you sign up 30 people? That's what the inquiring minds want to know.
I went to 30 people and I shared my heart with them. They saw I had been sick. They saw what I looked like. They had lost hope, a lot of them. A lot of them were on medications. A lot of them were seeing doctors and they weren't getting better. And I just said, it helped me, maybe it can help you. I'm not going to promise you one thing. It's not a drug. This is a cell supplement product that helps your cells in your body get healthy. And when the cells in your body get healthy, then the body can heal itself. That was amazing to me that could happen. And I watched it happen. And I've watched it happen for 6 years with people all over the country. And I have come to expect it now, not saying, oh, I hope it works. I've come to expect it because of the results that we've seen. I have found that people seem to take the product properly and correctly. They usually get the results in one area or others. It's just the fact that when I was sick and in and out of the hospital, and I was so concerned about keeping my businesses, and I grew pretty quick with this company and was drawing some nice income, and my back was against the wall to produce. I was paying a lot of employees. The company had a lot of employees we had to pay, and I had employees with what I was doing I had to pay, and so it puts a lot of pressure on you.
You're always the last one to get paid, right? You're the owner.
There was many times I didn't pay myself that week, trying to get everybody paid or bills paid. But it was just mind-boggling for me to see this product and what it did for me. And then for me to get the vision of, wow, look what it did for me. Can I help my friends and family with this? And I started sharing it. And it just continued to grow. And I saw person after person after person get results. And the more that happened, the more my belief grew. And the more I learned about redox, the more I learned how it worked in different aspects in our body, the more I learned from you guys and other doctors in Asea and our medical board and all the things that was done. This last week, we had Alan Noble was on, and Hunter Dean came on, who's VP of operations, and I think got his Asea product operations. Phenomenal how they're able to take this and simplify what redox is, how it really works. These tiny molecules that penetrate the cell wall and turn on a switch that just changes everything, and it can't hurt you. How beautiful is that? And so the more they simplify it, the more the studies are out there, the more we go out and share with people, the more it grows. And I believe, and I've heard you say it, Maureen, too, I believe 18 years from now, redox will be a household name just like Kleenex. I believe everybody's going to know what it is. It's growing. People are seeing results. A lot of the doctors didn't know what it was because they didn't study medical school. It took a patient coming to them to say, what do you know about redox? I hadn't heard anything about it. Well, let me send you something. And that starts the process. So many people in our organization today, medical-wise, had no clue what it was. So it's a slower process, but it's word-of-mouth advertising, but it's solid. And I think it's a great way to build a business. And, if you put this on the shelf at a retail store, people would walk right by it and not have a clue what it is because of the ingredients. So I think
I'd read the back of it and they would just put it back. They'd be like, what are they going to come up with next? Salt water.
Well, we've got a great product. We've got, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention our leadership in this company, the ethos in this company. I've been around a lot of different businesses. I've never seen leadership like this. I know their hearts. I've traveled with a lot of them around the country. They have a true interest in us. Most companies take the majority of the profits. This company puts 50% back into the field. They take 50% to run the company and 50% back to us that are out here in the field working. I love their business model. And in 6 years, they've always been consistent. I've never missed a check. They're right on time. They're professional. We started with the Asea drink and the gel. That were the two staple products. And now we have 14 items, and they're all powered by redox, which, that's what, Dr. Hodge was talking about, healthy matters. We need to understand we have a family of redox products that can help us live a healthier, more productive life. And we need to start thinking that way, more on the preventative side, not waiting until something tragically happens to us, or we get that bad news that, something's happened. You're going to pay it one way or the other. I'd rather invest in my health, and as a business, there's a lot of write-offs to this business too, on top of my ranch and my other businesses that were amazing. And that's why a lot of people get into this, by the way. But a lot of times it pays to be healthy. I don't care what you have. If you can't enjoy it, it doesn't mean anything.
That is so true. I love it because our careers are so important to us early on, and we really waste our health trying to get ahead, right? And fill our careers. And then on the back end, we're spending all of our money trying to get our health back. I heard somebody else say it recently that we make money so that we can get things, and then we have to keep working so that we can keep things. And it's really sad, how we get kind of our priorities mixed up that way. And I really love it here because we're doing what we love to do. All three of us are very passionate about helping people have a better quality of health. And that's what we do here. We're showing people just a better way, right? And we also allow them to have a better quality of life too, if they want to take part in that. And again, I was like you, Leland. Lee, I know you talk about having the chicken bone stuck in your throat when it comes to sharing this business, but I've always gotten paid for my expertise and for my recommendations as a physician. And this is just another way to do it. And, and there's no limit, you can play as big as you want here, which is really amazing. But you know what? We just got some really great information. We've talked a lot about the redox here, and we have 4 different categories. We have, skincare, we all, even the guys, I don't know if you guys are using the skincare, but it's amazing how our skin looks and how everybody looks. Every time you see them, they look younger than they did before. And to be in my 60s, and I think my skin actually looks, I don't wear face makeup. This is just my skin. I think it looks great. We have a new mask coming out. I was telling the guys, I was kind of rubbing stuff off. I just used the mask before I came on. It is unbelievable. You're going to love it when you get it. So the skincare is really great. The Via line, the nutritional, and I don't know if you want to speak to that at all, Leland. I thought they were going to bring out something for the gummy bear people, if you're used to getting your stuff at the big box stores or your local pharmacy, I thought these are for you. I'm a supplement snob. These are first rate. They're some of the best supplements on the market, some of the best I've ever taken. And then the cell performance with what we just learned this weekend. Oh my gosh, I just feel like I should be talking to everybody about those self-performance products. Do you want to speak a little bit? I'll let you break the news on it. It's just so exciting.
Well, you asked me a question about the nutritional line. I wasn't excited when I first heard they were coming out because we have a product that nobody else has, and why are you going to come out with nutrition that everybody's got? I was wrong. And, we have 4 products. I was on 11 supplements at that time, being an athlete and trying to stay in shape. But when I got sick, I wasn't seeing results. I even doubled up on some of them, and I wasn't seeing a change, and I didn't really understand it. I was at a conference, and I spoke with a lady by the name of Dr. Ann-Louise Gettleman, and she's really a pioneer of nutrition, first lady of nutrition. She's written 35 books on nutrition, New York's best-selling books, and she was talking about if you're taking nutrition and your cells are unhealthy, a lot of them are just being wasted. They're going in your stomach and right into the toilet because they're not being absorbed in your body. And she was talking about our 4 nutritional products, how we have a patent, the Asea Via line, it's called BioAmplify, and it allows your cells to absorb nutrition into your body. And if you can absorb nutrition is a big part of health. And so I thought, wow, that makes sense. So I went back and stopped all the other supplements I was on and went to these 4. I really didn't spend more money. I was trading dollars, but now I was having something that was working. And we had a product that was kind of like a daily vitamin nutritional type product. It's raw organic food, no synthetics, no fillers, gives you everything basically you need daily. Had another product called Life Max, which was more of a product for longevity. They had great, like 4 or 5 different types of mushrooms and French cantaloupe. Things are just super healthy for you. Tremendous product. And then they have omega products. And we all need omegas. A lot of times you don't like them because of the fishy burps and the things that go along with the omega products, but that's for brain and heart health. And we have fresh Alaskan fish caught, and they walk it through the whole process. It's very good quality, the best that I've seen. So we have that. And then we have a product called Biome, maybe one of my favorites. And it has 16 different probiotics in it. but it has three prebiotics, which are the good flora that you really need for your gut. Because if your Dr. Louise Gelman said, if your gut's not healthy, you're not healthy. Your gut is your second brain. And so that was all making sense only because I went through an illness and experienced it. If they'd have told me that, I probably wouldn't listen to it very good. I thought, oh, it's all the same, but it's not. And to have a product that is patented and unique and it works, and when you take it in conjunction with Asea, Dr. Ann Louise Gettleman said taking the two together was the best combination for total wellness in your body she had seen. And that made a huge impact on me for being who she was in nutrition. So I encourage everybody, if you're taking other nutritional products, look at what's on the back of your bottle and look at what's on the back of these products. You might consider a change in just seeing what happens, because it's phenomenal. And if you're building the business side, you should be taking your own products anyway. They're better, but you should be doing it anyway. And then the cell performance is incredible. We have a product for energy. We have one for mind, for focus. We have one for mood, for anxiety, or we see these young kids today that can't focus in school, or we see the elderly with, these neurological issues and things. This has been very helpful. They're healthy products. They're not just like an energy that's unhealthy like we buy at the store and a lot of people take every day. These are all healthy for you, and they're powered by redox. And now we're finding out more stuff that it helps with telomeres and some things like I think they're going to get into more down the road. That's not my science. That's not what I studied. I was in orthopedics, but I've already heard some things from a few people that just get me super excited about what we have our hands on. And people need to learn that these are premier products, and this company just doesn't bring something out unless it's top notch. So I encourage you to do your homework. If you're taking one or two of the products and not the rest of them, you should be, and you should look at them if you really care about your health.
Well, I love that. I love that you touched on the telomere, and Lee, you might be able to speak a little bit more to this as well. But telomere, that's something that when I was getting my certification in age management medicine was really a hot topic, because once you use up, it's the end caps on your chromosomes. Your chromosomes, your cells divide, and so the DNA is replicated and it twists and it keeps getting shorter and shorter and shorter. When it gets to a certain length, it can't divide anymore, and it becomes what they call a senescent cell, which is doesn't do much. It goes to sleep. It's kind of like a dead cell. So if your telomeres are lengthened or preserved, this is huge. It means your cells are going to live longer, and because of some of the ingredients in it, it also helps to repair the DNA. So it's healthy longevity. So this has a lot to do with aging, and we're learning more and more about it. And there was a product back when I was studying it that was very expensive. It had a lot of promise, a lot of studies done on it, but it cost almost $1,000 a month to take this supplement. And I actually asked our formulator, Henry Lopez, how do our products compare to this one? And he said, I believe our product is actually better than that one. And that was surprising to me, because that was not the initial purpose or function of these drinks. It's like Leland said, excuse me, it's for, healthy awareness and awakeness with the energy. It's sustained, doesn't make you jittery. Focus, sharpen focus. And if you continue to take it, it helps for the brain to heal. So you want to take it daily. You want to be consistent with that. And then the mood, I'm learning more and more about the mood. We all know how important melatonin is. This product actually increases your production, your body's production of melatonin, rather than taking it externally. Also, it's got ashwagandha and GABA in it, so it helps with oxidative stress, and it helps with your cortisol levels. It's really amazing. Helps you get into a deep sleep and increases your REM sleep. So I can't say enough good. So many people have sleep disturbances and dysfunction, and that's when your body heals itself. So that is incredibly important. And and forgive us, Lee and I are both on the medical professionals board. We need to get you on there too, Leland. And so we've just been hearing a lot about this stuff, and we're just so excited about where they're going with some of these products. So Lee, can you fill in any gaps for me, because you're the scientific brain here?
Yeah, I think both of you have, highlighted the important things. I think what we're seeing is not a repositioning, but a expanding the conversation to things like anti-aging. And if you just go into the science literature on wellness and health, there's been a movement over the last decade, and I think we're going to see it continue in the next 2 decades, on all fronts of everybody talking about health span, everybody talking about longevity, but more importantly, being healthy when you get old. And that's all about anti-aging and these cell defense mechanisms that you're alluding to, with maintaining the telomeres, with dealing with single and double strand DNA repair. You know, that this is a major focus, and I'm sure you saw that in your age management when you were studying that to specialize. They're talking about DNA repair, and if you get into the literature and say, well, what is it that causes DNA to repair? I mean, how do we do that process? And at the base of all of that is redox. All these cell functions are redox sensitive. And so what Leland was talking about earlier with these tiny molecules being rapidly absorbed and getting across, the cell membranes and into the space inside the cell, is they have an incredible ability to regulate the regulatory circuits of the cell. And that means that we can respond to stresses, we can repair damages, we can clean up damaged proteins and membranes and DNA strands and so forth. And all of that is a redox sensitive mechanism. So when we talk about redox signaling molecules, we're talking about the molecules that activate these on-off switches that increase our stress resilience. When we talk about cell performance and Asea and the other phytonutrients, we're talking about molecules that are redox active. They act upon the redox landscape, and that's why they're in synergy. Leland was talking about comparing your supplements. One thing that's interesting is that when your cell's functioning properly, you don't need as much nutrition as you think you do. And in fact, there's some good literature coming out now that is saying that if you take too many, you're going to actually suppress your redox signaling capabilities. Your redox state becomes suppressed, and you can't turn on these redox switches as easily. And so we call that reductive stress. We talk about oxidative stress. Well, the opposite of that is reductive stress. And when we're doing too much of that, then we swing the pendulum in the other direction. So there is this happy balance, there's this homeostasis, but it's all driven because we have this very responsive, adaptive, regulatory circuit in the body that senses, it detects, and it responds, and then it stands down when we don't need it anymore. And just top loading, more and more and more is not always the best strategy if you want to be healthy.
One thing that, as we talk with people, a lot of people are obviously skeptical because it's new science. One thing I've learned to do is don't try to convince. What I would like for people to understand is that this is documented, proven science. The company and the products are not on trial. Here's what you can do to see what it does. Go to your family doctor and get your blood work done. Get all your blood levels done. Get your SED rate level done. SED rate is your inflammation marker in your body. Get on this product for 90 days. The company shows about 15% of people see results in the first week, and I was one of those. Half of the people, or 50%, see results in the first 30 days, but 90% in 90 days. And, sometimes that's a better percentage than what we give some of our surgery patients, with results. And so to know we've got something that can work, and your body doesn't get to where it is overnight. It's over a period of years, what you eat, what you drink, your stress levels, all of that over a period of time. Are you willing to give your body 90 days or 120 days and get on this product and try it? Go get all your blood levels done, and then go get them done again at 90 or 120 days. And compare where they were when you started and where they are now, because those tests don't lie. That's the real proof in the pudding that people should be looking for. Like I was skeptical. That's what you need to be looking for, is facts. Now, I don't have to do that anymore because I know that it works, and I see people get on and do their tests and they see the changes and they're blown away by it. Doesn't surprise me. because it's cellular. And I know that if you're taking it, you're going to see some results. So I encourage people to be skeptical. Don't be dumb like me for 2 years and say, no, I probably wouldn't have had the issue that I did if I would have looked at it sooner. But we just have something that's great here, and it's safe. And, the people I've met around the world, the new friendships, even though it's my business, we work as a team, and you can accomplish so much more as a team than you can do by yourself. And I love this style of business, and get more fond of it all the time. And especially when you see results, both on the health side and the financial side, it is the vehicle for both. If it's a decision, if that's something you want to do or not. But we're past the point, and there's a lady in our organization. She just wrote a book. It's called The 10 Things I Wish I Knew About Network Marketing Before I Got Started by Christine Williams. I've read it twice now. I've highlighted a lot, and I've got my team reading it, and we're reviewing the chapters each week. Wow, is she right on target with where we are and how we need to have a mindset with this type of business. And she's married. She went through a divorce, lost everything, started over, making a lot of money now. She's got, I think, 6 or 7 children. I can't never keep it straight. But a mom from home building something like this because she had the mindset, this is what I'm going to do. And I love the fact that I just continue to see it happen for so many people that believe that they get a mindset, my back's against the wall, I'm going to do this. And once they set their mind to it, it happens. It's just a mindset. But we have all that you need to change your life if you want to change it, both physically or financially. And this is a great place. I've hung my hat here. I don't care to look at anything else. I'm real content and knowing I'm going into my years that I can have the time freedom, which I never learned until I got in this, the time freedom. I go to my ranch for a week or 10 days at a time, work the business from my cell phone. I'm not in an office, no employees. It's a wonderful life. And I know that it's out there, and a lot of people are looking for something different. We encourage you to take a look at this. It is life-changing.
I love that. And if you saw me looking down, Donald Dominguez, you can't really see it, that a lot of you know, just send me pictures. I don't know why she has a picture of me probably doing this presentation a year ago, and then she took a picture of me tonight. And just in 1 year's time, the difference in how I look. I know a lot of y'all are using that old medical professional picture as a before picture in your presentations. It's horrifying. But I'm looking at this, and I can see a difference from somebody else's photos that they took of me in a year's time.
It's huge. I see it. I've seen it for a long time. You can see people change at these conferences and meetings, like, wow. And sometimes someone's been on products, like if we do a workshop or something, and 30 days later I see them, and they have a glow about them, like you might see with a lady might be pregnant or something. You just see their skin shining, and they look good, and their energy levels up, and then to see them become more and believe more in themselves. And to me, that's so gratifying to see people grow on a personal level with this. It's amazing.
I love it. Yeah, I'm a lifer. Why would we ever retire from this? It's addictive to change people's lives. It really
Yes,
is.
it is.
Well, they say this is a self-development program cleverly disguised as a business. The laboratory that we have here allows for that type of personal development. You made a comment a moment ago about the style, the style of business, the style of income. And maybe as we close out here, you could maybe go back and touch on that one more time for us and our audience about the quality of the income. How it compares with, everybody already knows what it means to trade time for dollars and to have those handcuffs where you can't leave your job because you're so obligated. That's what makes losing a job so disastrous. Yet it's happening. So talk about that style that you enjoy.
Well, this company allowed me to pay my ranch off. It's allowed me to pay all of my equipment off. I've got 2 more payments next month, and everything there pretty much will be paid for, and then it becomes a clear profit center. I wouldn't be where I am today without this company and without the income. And I could have done some other things, but I'd be trading dollars for time. And now to have a time freedom and to be able to come and go on my terms and not have to punch a clock. Terry Latham, we have a morning call every morning. We have sometimes well over 100 on there from people all over the country. And we talk about, what do you dream for? Do you have a dream board? Do you have your goals written down? And we talked about some of those this last week about what is your goal? And of course you hear, I want the new home. I want the new car. I want this. I want that. And I thought about it. And the next day when Terry had the call, I brought it back up and I said, you know, Terry, for me, it's not about another home or more property, or I've had the boats, I've had the cars, I've had the home. That's not what it's about to me. That my time freedom is the best thing right now, being able to come and go on my terms. The fact that it's what I don't want. It's not what I want. It's not about money things for me. It's about what I don't want. I don't want a job. I don't consider this really a job. This is fun. I'm meeting people. It's changing my life. I'm helping others. For every dollar I make, I'm changing somebody's life. And to make, strong six-figure incomes is amazing. And, I was able to join a group. I don't like talking about it too much because I don't want people to feel that you're bragging, but I didn't know it was possible to grow so quick. And in my third year with this company, I entered into an elite group in the company, and I did it in 3 years part-time while I was running my other companies. And, during the last year, I went back a little bit because of all the distractions from other business. That's just life. But I still have a good, solid business. And then the last few weeks have been, since the impact tours, we wanted to talk about that. Phenomenal. We had one in San Antonio, one in North Carolina, and one in Spokane. To get to meet some of our newest executives and them be in their corporate office to work with us and to deliver and bring new science. The word impact they talked about is to act, impact. The word act is in there. You've got to get going, action. And boy, the energy that has come off of these meetings from around the country, and the people are exciting, and the new business, it's amazing. People want this. A lot of them just don't know it's here. They don't know it's available to them. And that's our job, guys, is to be the messenger. It's not to push something down their throat. It's not even to call them and throw up on them about all this product. You asked me a question earlier, Lee, about how I approach people. A lot of times I'll talk to them a couple of times, like two guys I talked to today from school, I went to school with. I never mentioned Asea. I just got caught up with them. What's going on in your life? I learned about some health issues. I learned about what's going on with their jobs or retirement and where they are and are they happy and what they're doing. And set up another time to have lunch and talk. I will eventually get to it. Sometimes we want instant gratification. But you don't do business like that all the time. You build a relationship. You build a relationship and they see that it's real and that you truly care about them. It's not about a dollar. What's your business grow? Learn to approach people with love and respect and saying, I'm just interested in you. And listen, don't do as much talking, listen. Make notes, mental notes, and then go back. Call them a day or two later. If they say somebody's really sick and has an issue, I'll wait a day and then I'll call them back and say, hey, hope you don't mind if I call you, but you just told me something yesterday that's really been on my mind and bothering me. And I can't just sit here and not share something with you because I've stumbled on something that's changed my life. Maybe it could change theirs. Well, what is it? Let me just send you a video, and then let's talk tomorrow. I don't even try to explain it to them anymore. Use your tools. It's not about what you know. It's what you know all about. As a medical doctor, the science, a lot of them don't grow because people feel I can't do that because I have to do that. You can send a video and follow up. Yeah. You can just send a video and follow up and do this business. If you can do that, you can do this business. The more simple and elementary you keep it, the faster you'll grow. And I just love the business model. I love the products. I love the management. And I just think we have something that people are looking for. A lot of them just don't know it's here. You need to be that messenger and share it with people.
I love that. And that's a perfect thing to end on. We have people, believe it or not, we have people asking already. This hasn't even ended and they want you back already, Leland. Fantastic.
I'm just a regular guy that had a great experience and it's changed my life. And I want everybody, an emotional son, I want everybody to feel what I feel. I want them to get their health. I want them to enjoy life to the fullest, not to be sick or can't do what you enjoy doing or not spending time with your kids or grandkids. Take hold, take charge, that inner doctor within you. Take charge of your own body and do these things like this that cannot hurt you. You owe this to your body first before you owe those other things to it. Give it a chance. Reach back out to the people that shared this with you tonight. Get back with them. We can help you get your information that you need, get you started to try the product in multiple ways. You can come in as a customer, you can come in as an associate, or you can pay retail. There's advantages to come in at different ones, but we can explain that to you. But just look at the different programs and you pick the one that's right for you and your family. If you do that, it's going to be great.
Perfect. Leland, thank you so much for taking the time to come with us on a Friday night. Give up your Friday night with your family. Spend with our family on the Asea 5. We're just so appreciative. Dr. Lee, you're fantastic as always. I won't be here next week, y'all. I'll be with my 89-year-old dad celebrating St. Patrick's Day. And I think Jim and
Donna Lynn.
Huh?
Donna Lynn is next week, and you don't want to miss it.
Oh, yeah, you do
She's
not want to
phenomenal. We work well together, and what a story this lady has, and how many lives she's changing. And you know, you don't want to miss it. It's excellent.
Fantastic. And Dr. Lee, you're going to be there, and you're going to have Dr. Ray Dixon with you, correct?
Well, maybe. I need to ask him.
Oh, I thought you already had. Yeah.
No.
But anyway, Lee, you're phenomenal on your own. You and Donna Lynn would be wonderful together. So you guys go out and bless people's lives by stick with them and make a difference for people. Thank you again, Leland. Thanks, Lee.
Bye-bye, Leland. We'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Say, Mark,
Yes, sir.
your immediate feedback on what you heard tonight in relationship to what we've been talking about last several meetings. What'd you come away with?
What I came away with after listening to this is it's a process that what Asea is about. It can help your health. You know, it's a form of prevention, and also it offers an opportunity from a financial perspective, the same thing. So there are a lot of things going on out there. You and I talk about it financially. So you got the best of both worlds. It's a way to maintain and, you know, good health, good habits, hanging around great people. And then on the same token, you can flip it and say, okay, yeah, I want to get involved in this and, you know, develop it, you know, from a financial perspective. But I think you should share this product with everybody because you need to know about it. And Lee's books, man, I mean, he's the master. I mean, if you don't believe me, you can go. You have the link on there. I did too. You know, you need to check it out but that's what I walked away from. It's a quality organization. Everybody that comes on a video, I mean, these people are, in my book, you know, they're high cotton, as we say here in the South. But I mean, it's just they know what they're good at their professions, whatever you know profession they come from. And then, you know, they're open-minded enough to take a look at something like this. Now, it was funny listening to Leland. He didn't really want to get involved with it until he had a health issue, you know. So think about that. That's what kind of led him down that path. And I found that interesting because listening to him, he reminded me of my brother-in-law, where, you know, when he said, I don't need the money right now. That's not what I'm looking for. Or even at the end when he said, I don't want all the toys. He's just looking for a lifestyle and you know, to hang around people that are like-minded, but his health, and it all came out. He kept stressing that, you know, and that's important to him, his health. I mean, he got a little emotional there. So, I mean, you know, you've lost some people that you didn't share this with. I lost a friend. I mean, you know, and I don't know. There's a lot of things going on in Mark's brain right now that this is a great organization, and I'll stack these products against anything on the marketplace, man. I don't think you're going to beat them. They're primo.
Perfectly said. You know, that's my passion. I've experienced the product from the benefit side. I've seen it. I've been around the leadership of the company. I did my due diligence. I've gone to the corporate office, met Tyler Norton on one-on-one.
Right.
These people are doing the business for the right reason. I think that's one of the things we talk about in the past is there's so many ways to go into business, but like you heard Leland talk about how much money it takes to take a traditional business and keep it running and all the obligations and responsibilities.
And to that point, he said brick and mortar, and then I kept thinking about this book which I just read, and the author right here, Christina, talks about it, and it's just kind of funny because he elaborated on that, and then I liked how Lee said, well, let me ask you, you had to go to the bank and you had to make obligations. You've been into the business arena for how long, Tom? You know what it takes when someone wants to even get involved in franchising, start their own business. I mean, it's some scary stuff. And, a lot of times if you're married, they'll have your wife in there and they'll want to see her autograph too, or whoever. And
Yeah.
it's not for fun and games. So I think, everybody that questions like network marketing, they might have a hang up on it, but he mentioned the word gig economy. I mean, it's just everybody's doing a side hustle of some sort, particularly what's going on today.
Yeah, it's getting tougher out there, and I'd encourage people out here to think about where they're at, find those things that give them purpose in life. And if you don't know what it is, maybe you want to look at Asea, because the people are doing this business for a whole different reason than any other thing I've ever seen. It's not just about the money and all those type of things. It's
Right.
what this product does, changing people's lives. I mean, can't make claims under the FDA requirements,
Right.
but it is saving people's lives in more ways. Just the quality of life is significant. Mine has changed because my knees, I had that situation where I couldn't walk downstairs. That's not a good thing. It hinders your quality of life, being in pain, can't do certain things. Since I've been on this product, so many things have changed, even with the gout. If it wasn't for the gout being on the Asea, I know I couldn't have gotten through that period of time, because I definitely know it did a difference without it if I didn't have it. So I just encourage anybody out there that's looking to improve themselves physically as well as financially, look at Asea. It's that significant. There's no hype here. You saw the quality of people in the interviews. That's throughout the entire company. That's one of the things that got me locked in when I saw the leadership. We're in business for ourselves, but not by ourselves. Those folks right there will help you build your business just by bringing a guest in on a Friday night and hear experts talk about what this company does and what the product is amazing. So we learn how to leverage the experts in this company, leverage their hearts and their purpose and their whys. All you have to be is the messenger of good news, and you'll have success with Asea. We encourage you to look at it no matter what your profession is. You know how to get a hold of Mark and myself. Don't hesitate to reach out to us, message us, and we'll get back to you, get whatever questions you needed answered. Okay.
I just want to say thanks for sharing this with me, Tom. I was a skeptic because I was like, okay, what is this deal now? But after I started taking the products, all I'm going to say is I notice a difference.
Yeah.
And I, what I do on weekends, and that's part of my gig economy. And, you might pick up anywhere from $300 to $600 in a weekend, umpiring baseball games. And, hey, I couldn't do that multiple games or tournament type games at a high level. There's no way. if I wasn't taking this stuff, including like when he talked about the energy drinks or the
Yeah.
mind or the mood. Yeah, you got to stay focused, and yeah.
Well, I tell you what, next week we're going to bring up the book. Leland talked about her in the book.
Yes, he did.
Yes. So this is an impactful book. So these are things you should know about going into network marketing. And I would think that how she's written a book, things you would apply to any business.
Right.
It doesn't just apply to network marketing or Asea. The principles she talks about, and that's why she's so successful. She wants to see people win and be healthy. So amazing book. So next week we're going to have Christina Williams on to show you the type of people that are in this company. I reached out to Dr. Lee Osler, and I'll be talking with him on Friday. He's going to be a guest soon on Elevate Your Profits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
That'll be intimidating, man, because that guy knows everything about redox. I wouldn't say he knows everything, but man, I wouldn't try and pull anything past that man.
No, he's a researcher. He loves the science side, and he's written some pretty significant books to make it easy for you and I, Mark, to read.
Yeah.
And so,
hey, I admit that book's written for dummies like us. Absolutely,
yeah. So, but I can't wait to find out more about his book about the gig economy.
Yeah.
And how he's
what do
applied.
you call that? Why It Matters. I think that's the book, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds interesting,
If you go to the website there and the link that's down there, Redox Matters.
Right here. Yeah.
Yeah. You can go there and watch replays of dozens of interviews with doctors and other people. So if you're looking for validation, you want to learn something about this company, the quality of people are associated with it, I encourage you to go to Redox Matters. You can get those 3 books right through the site as well. So I encourage you, if you want to learn more about redox signaling molecules, we have the resources to help you better understand it.
Right.
And then get a hold of Mark or myself to find out what it would take to get the product in your hands. Or if you want to talk about the opportunity.
The other thing I wanted to point out, Tom, is I really appreciated what Leland, when he was speaking about businesses, and he said, I know, and this is where everybody gets hung up, for $45, this is all I had to do. And, and he mentioned about what he had to do in his other businesses. Not that he's not successful, but not everybody can do what Leland did and is doing. I mean, with other businesses. So,
well, he's a successful business guy. He knows what success looks like. He knows he looked at this business model. From a business perspective, he recognized anybody that understands business understands what network marketing is. When you bump it up against, the closest thing you can make an equation to would be a franchise for pennies on the dollar to get this and have all the support. The most important thing is find that thing that what I call blows your hair back, you have a passion for. And that's what I plugged in. I shifted everything I'm doing over to Asea. This is the last hilltop I'm going to put my stake in. So I'm here to the duration. So anything else, Mark?
that's awesome. I'm looking forward to next week's guest. Man, I'm fired up watching that video. That's some good stuff. I mean, so all I'm going to say is, if you are a skeptic, and there are a lot of us out there, and I was, Leland was, until a health issue, snuck in there, but you just never know. And I think something he said was profound is develop relationships with people. I liked what he had to say, his approach. And that's probably why he knocked it out of the park, getting 30 people.
Yeah.
He didn't beat them over the head, and that's not what, and why Tom and I are doing this. Uh, we're just sharing something. He shared it with me, and I'm saying, hey, if you don't believe him, ask me. And if you don't believe us, check out Leland, Lee, and all the other people in this organization.
Yeah, we're no longer on trial. We don't need to validate the science of what this product does. It's just now a matter of getting the word out
Right.
so people will know about redox signaling molecules. It will be a household name or household word, like he said, in just a few short years. So if you want to be in a business, you don't want to be on the downside of the curve. You want to be on the other side of this curve. And this is where Asea is. What do you call it? Innovator has already been created.
Right.
Now we're the active. I forgot what we call that on the upside, but we're taking advantage of the market and where it's going to go. So at some point, if people know that you have it, they'll be just placing orders with you. You're an order taker at that time. That's what's going to happen with this company. So you want to position yourself to have a team of people sharing the good news and just watch what happens. So it's really nice to have a residual income that comes in weekly. That's kind of cool, no matter what's happening. So even when I was down with the gout, I didn't have to worry about what was coming in this week. So that's comforting in itself.
Yeah. That's the way to roll.
You dancing tonight, Mark?
I don't know, because I think Gene is running late, so I might be missing. Although we went on Saturday, so we had fun.
Cool.
We even got her out. We even got a Greek lady out there two-stepping, man. So that's awesome. There was another couple there, so we kind of swapped partners, and it was kind of neat because that's how you learn. And he said, "Well, here I'll dance with my wife, and I'll dance with Gina," and it was neat. It was really neat. So that's another thing. I don't think like in this group you can talk about people, just quality people, man. And that's kind of what gravitated towards me, just looking at all these heavy hitters out there. Another guy that comes to my mind, I call him Dr. David, but Dave Silverman, that's an incredible guy there. He knows so much. He does,
Yeah, it's incredible. The leadership and the people willing to help in this company. So, Mark, with that all said, we'll play our
absolutely
our Asea exit, and then we'll call the night. God bless everybody. What's your plan B? What is your plan B?
Absolutely. Thank you.